Whether it's a football team, Broadway production, factory line, or fire department, each person has their defined roles. The same is true in court, of course. Everyone from the bailiff to the court reporter has a job to do. But the judge and the jury are the most crucial roles in court. If you find yourself in a jury trial, at the very least, you should know what the roles of the judge and the jury are. Although you undoubtedly have the gist, certainty usually wins the day in the courtroom. So let's break down the role of the judge first. Even in a jury trial, the judge still wears many hats. Metaphorical hats, of course. First and foremost, the judge is an independent, impartial decision maker in the pursuit of justice. Each side makes its arguments and presents the facts and evidence that it wants the jury to consider. It's up to the judge to oversee it all without bias. The judge is the ruler of the courtroom. She decides all matters of courtroom procedure. She also decides all legal issues, including ruling on evidentiary objections. When the judge sustains an objection to evidence, it means she agrees with the party objecting and the evidence or testimony is disallowed. If she overrules the objection, it means she disagrees with the party objecting and the evidence will come in. Sometimes some evidence questions are settled beforehand through the judge's decisions on pre-trial motions. But often the evidentiary issues cannot be predicted in advance and must be ruled on during the trial. Another part of the judge's duty is to act as a guide for the jury. The judge will instruct the jury about the law before the jury's verdict, so that they make the most informed decision possible. Juries are assembled to determine if someone is liable or not liable in a case based on the evidence that has been admitted, and only on that evidence. This makes the jury, in stuffy lawyer speak, the trier of fact. If the jury does find the defendant liable, they must also decide how much in damages the defendant must pay. There are cases where a jury is not permitted, or where the parties have waived a trial by jury. The judge plays both the normal role of a judge, but is also the trier of fact. The judge decides both the legal issues and the factual issues. This can be more streamlined and efficient, but it also has its drawbacks. For one, the decision is being made by one person, not 6. It also presents the problem that the judge may rule certain evidence inadmissible. But unlike a jury, the judge has already seen the evidence that the trier of fact should not see. The law presumes that the judge has the ability that jurors do not to resist the temptation of being influenced by inadmissible evidence. By the way, trying the case without a jury is called a bench trial. It's called that because, confusingly enough, the elevated desk the judge sits behind is not called a desk or a table, but a bench. Even more confusingly, the judge sits on a chair, not a bench. But the word comes from the days when judges actually sat on benches. Anyway, you could say that in a bench trial, the only one getting benched is the jury. Don't let yourself get sidelined by a lack of knowledge on how the game is played. Call on Legal U. Legal U, where the courtroom is not just for lawyers.